Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a look at both charts, Bitcoin as well as Cardano. And we're going to take a look at what impact yesterday's FOMC announcement had overnight here. I mean, overnight here in the UK. You might be in a completely different time zone. We can already see, if we look at the charts, that the prices did go down a little bit. Not a massive sell-off, nothing that would be unusual for the crypto market, but for example, Luna here went 10% down. That is at least worth mentioning. Cosmos 12%, Phantom as well 10%. So all the ones that did really well in the last few weeks are now selling off more, pretty much expected, because they were doing their wave B. That is what I did say, and that I did expect here further sell-offs for them because they are late in their correction and they need to catch up. Everything else pretty much moving together with Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still here in this correction. It did its impulse here to the upside, wave 1, larger wave 1, did then come down here. I still need to relabel this as ABC here. Did come down as an A, go up to a B, and now coming down as a C. Two scenarios. One is that we do this ABC correction and will come down a little bit lower than the wave A, which means at least 28.7k. This would be the minimum of the correction, rather lower. I expect the price between 25 and 27k ideally. Yeah, this is all based on Fibonacci levels, but I've got my target area here sitting between 20 and 28.7k. So I did have this area defined since we were up there. Yeah. And since we dropped below 53k, I did stick with this scenario. Now, the other scenario would be this A, B, C, D, E correction, where the wave C is not allowed to drop below 28.7k. And we would then go all the way up in basically another, you could call it a fake out, or another run to the upside to possibly the previous all-time high. And then, everybody gets bullish again, and then we're dropping finally and have another final sell-off. That wave E could then go a little bit lower, yeah, and that would then finally, I think, shake everybody out. People get really frustrated, pissed off. People will talk about a head and shoulders here, whatever, I don't know, because that wave D could also go a bit shorter. But that would then be basically like the final sell-off. It would extend everything by a leg up and a leg down, and then we would go all the way up after the wave E. Yeah, the wave E would be where you exit at the opposite out of this range. So you can see this as a range or even a triangle. That is the alternative that I did start to talk about a few days ago. I mean, to be honest, everything is always possible on the charts. You know, there are lots of alternatives, different possibilities, and I follow various ones, but these two are for me the most likely ones. It's not worth talking about all of them because some are really unlikely, and until certain things happen, it's not worth talking about them, because until then these are very unlikely. It's also often the question, what happens if we go up now? Yeah, but until we do see an impulse, for example, to the upside, it's not worth talking about it, because I need to see something happen before I can really make the conclusion that we have maybe completed the correction here already. Until then, this remains my primary scenario. And it's pretty much going according to plan at the moment. So we did talk about this possible bear flag, or at least here bearish pattern that we had on the chart for Bitcoin, and I said that this is probably going to take us into the target area here, but at the same time it's probably a bearish pattern, so a breakout to the downside is likely. So it seems like at the moment both is playing out. We did, as you probably know, yesterday hit the target area here. It did touch it, even though it was just with a wick, but that's fine. It did the minimum what it needs to do for a wave 4 correction, because the question always comes up, is the wave 4 now complete? Now, I can't tell you that because it's not confirmed. We only know this maybe as it gets more likely as soon as you see a first 1-2, because this would now be a wave 5, yeah? So what you want to see is basically a 1-2, where the wave 2 might retest here that former support as resistance, and you get your wave 3, 4, 5, all the way to the downside. So that's what we want to see at a minimum, at first 1-2. But then it isn't really confirmed until we drop below wave 3, and that's what makes it so tricky. So we need to drop below 33k, otherwise we can assume we are still within wave 4, because a wave 4 can go up and down. We did have it up here. This was a wave 3 and wave 4 as well. You see what we did, all the way down, up, and then then we made our way down. We had it here as well. We went all the way down and we went up, down again, up again. So that's when we saw here this 1, 2, for example, and you do have it oftentimes, right? You do have it quite often, that 1, 2. So you need to have it, otherwise it wouldn't be an impulsive wave 5. But anyway, I think this both played out at the moment. So at the moment, it's just time to wait for me. I don't really know what is happening now. There's 2 scenarios. First of all, which would still be my primary view, that we still go up once more from here and make our way to 43k. That would be the top of this resistance level here. That would be the ideal retracement level of the wave 4. I did say before we could even in the move up go higher. I think it was around 46k. A bit less likely for me, but I think we need to see a bit of a recovery before we get that final sell-off. So I think what we're doing now here is just a bit of profit taking from retail investors and maybe bots after yesterday's announcement. We had a bit of a move up. I think most moves did happen way before yesterday's announcement. I think the market makers and the players and the big players, they knew already what was coming. They did all their sell-off before here in the last few days and weeks, and now it was only basically the retail investors that did here a bit of buying and selling yesterday. So and maybe the bots, so it's nothing significant really, and nothing to worry about or anything. I think it's neither a confirmation that we have already completed wave 4, nor it's a confirmation that we're already going down here in a final sell-off to the downside. I rather find it unlikely that we're in the final sell-off to the downside, because I think we need to see a bit more of a recovery before we do it. And if I look at the daily chart, I did say it yesterday, the daily RSI is just too low to get that final sell-off in my view. I think we need to go a little bit higher, make people very bullish again before we drop down. And that's Bitcoin. Cardano did also follow Bitcoin at the moment. It's outperforming Bitcoin a little bit. It's going up on the ADA BTC chart, and we can take a look at that in a minute. But also ADA here, we had a triangle here on the chart, and as coming from above, continuation pattern, that did also here break to the downside. We can see that on the 4-hour chart, that this did break when the price did get into the apex, had a bit of a fake out up, and then it broke down. That's what you sometimes see with these patterns. It actually breaks the other way and then does a bit of a fake out, and it goes down. So, but it's holding fairly stable. You could even, don't know if you could even extend this now, possibly, make it a bit larger. This could be still or become still a triangle or a some sort of a wedge pattern. That's what they sometimes do. They form and reform and become a bit larger. That's what it looks to me like, because we have 3 touch points down there, 2 or 3 up there, and so you've got your triangle here as well. And again, I think it's following Bitcoin. It's following Bitcoin and Bitcoin's wave count at the moment, which is positive, because it didn't do that before really. It was outperformed by Bitcoin. Now it's pretty much moving sideways with Bitcoin, Cardano, but it's a bit stronger at the moment than Bitcoin. We can take a look at the ADA BTC chart in a minute. Key support levels remain here at the moment at 97 cents or 96.6, which is the 0.618 fib level here, that horizontal line, and which is a very important, very relevant one. That's why we're holding above it at the moment, and you can see how we actually did touch it with that move down here on the 24th of January. We did come exactly onto the 0.618 fib level. Next key support at 92 cents. That is a support where we touched previously. That was touched previously, just technical support. But I think more relevant is actually here the 96.6 level. And then again, just once more to mention it, if we drop below 90, this 92 cent level, then it's very likely that we're going to go here to 55 cents. I had a few questions. How likely is it? Now I can't really tell you. I think it is probably, I would give it the 55 cents or 54 cents here, the top of that target area. I probably would give it a 60-70% that we actually get there. I think it's fairly likely that we go all the way down to 30 cents or somewhere here in the middle. I would maybe only give it a 40%. You know, I think another drop here for Cardano it's quite a lot, because it did hold fairly well up here, yeah, where we now are. Another drop to that area, I mean, that would be, yeah, a 50% drop. That is quite a lot compared to what I expect for Bitcoin. Therefore, really getting there, I think now that we broke here the $1, I think it's not unlikely that we get there. So maybe 60-70%. But do we go much lower? I find it not very unlikely, but I find it rather unlikely. Again, it all depends on how much Bitcoin is finally selling off, and until we see how Bitcoin is getting into its target area, we can't really say, okay? But at the moment, I can only repeat it, for me, phenomenal prices. And if we drop lower, I'll buy a bit more. That's why I was so careful with buying generally in December, because I wanted to avoid all this here, this area here. Generally for Bitcoin and other cryptos, I was really careful in December. But now, as we broke below 40K for Bitcoin, I find prices really attractive again, and I am dollar cost averaging in again. And I think it's a great opportunity. Yes, I know there will be probably another sell-off, but again, you never know, you never 100% know, and I don't want to be left out, and I see this more long-term anyway, and some of it goes into my long-term HODL portfolio, and some of it goes into my longer-term trading portfolio, where I trade the longer swings, you know, these waves here, the ups and downs. I'm not interested in trading here a little wave A to a wave B. First of all, the risk is too high for me, and also the reward is too small for me. And what is much more profitable in my view is to wait until, for example, here such an uptrend is starting and then selling close to the top. Yeah, it's very hard to time always the exact top, but taking profits here along the way is very, very profitable in my view, and that's what I'm waiting for, that final move up, or that next move up, all the way up to wave 3, and then I'm going to take some profits, and then I'm going to buy in at the wave 4 again, and go into the wave 5. Probably won't sell all at the top of wave 3, because a wave 4 is typically not a very strong retracement, so it might be worth just holding through until the wave 5. Now that could be a longer move, but it could be much more profitable than short-term trading, in my view. All right, and that's where we are here at the moment with Bitcoin and Cardano. Again, looking at this pattern here, triangle could indicate that we do another drop for Cardano, but it's pretty much related here to Bitcoin. As we can see on the ADA BTC chart, we're moving sideways with Bitcoin at the moment. And before we here had, since September, we always had the situation when Bitcoin is dropping, Cardano is dropping even more. When Bitcoin is going up, Cardano isn't really going up. Now that has changed. When Bitcoin is going up, Cardano is going up as well, even stronger. And when Bitcoin is falling, Cardano is falling, yes, but not so strong. That is why Cardano can hold currently above $1. So the trend has changed on ADA BTC, and it's looking promising, but it hasn't gone crazy yet. So I'm waiting for that final reversal. It looked a bit like it could be reversing here, but that was it. Then we had another major sell-off, and that was basically not happening anymore, but we are still here in a slight uptrend, and I'm waiting here for a potential stronger outperformance of Bitcoin, by Cardano. So that could be very interesting. All right, hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin and Cardano. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe consider to join as a channel member, and you can get access to Discord, Telegram, and a weekly live stream, which is really, really fun. All right, hopefully, you liked the video, and thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.